150 years, 1872 to 2022, the greatest ever Ranger. John Greig spent his entire career with Rangers as a player, manager and director and was voted the greatest ever Ranger by the club's supporters. Greig made 755 official appearances for Rangers with 120 goals and is one of the most celebrated captains in our history. Greig was captain when Rangers won the European Cup Winners' Cup in 1972, beating Dynamo Moscow 3-2 in Barcelona. Greig became manager, replacing Jock Wallace in May 1978. Although he did not lead the team to the domestic league title during his spell in the dugout, he led Rangers to arguably one of the greatest European results in our history, when Rangers became the first club in European club competition to defeat PSV Eindhoven at their Philips Stadion. Greig was also responsible for signing Rangers' greatest ever goal scorer, a certain Mr. Ali McCoist. A statue of John Greig was unveiled as part of a memorial for the people who sadly lost their lives at the Ibrox disaster. John Greig was captain of the team when the disaster occurred, and it stands at the base of the famous club deck stairs at the east side of the main stand. Greig left Rangers in 2011 when Craig White gained control of the club, but made a return in May 2015 when he was named the club's honorary life president, Mr. John Greig. Hello everyone and welcome to Club Deck Corner here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. And a week where spring has sprung in Scotland, let's hope Rangers continue the change of season form and stop trying to kill us all before the summer. I am your host, Scott Carney, and joining me is Ali Pearson from, I want to say Newcastle, is that right?
Newcastle, yeah. I mean, sunny Newcastle.
Is it nice down south? Aye.
I suppose if it's far away, to be honest, but
that's true.
It's hopefully the Wi-Fi and hotels are quite dodgy at times, but it seems all right so far. So if I do drop out, it's not me just disappearing; it's the Wi-Fi.
That's good. You probably will at some point. Scott Gemmell, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Starting to feel a wee bit better. I've been feeling a wee bit. I thought I was coming down with the cold or the dreaded COVID over the last couple of days, but thankfully I've been negative. I'm starting to feel a wee bit better now. But yeah, I'm good. And once again, great wee intro there, Carney, with John Greig. I was just saying to you before we came on air there that back, must have been about 1999. My old football coach, I think, was like a groundsman at Ibrox for a wee period of time, I'm sure. And we get taken in a stadium tour, like just me, a couple of my pals, my wee brother and all our dads around Ibrox just by ourselves, and we met John Greig on the marble staircase and got a photo with him. Have to be honest though, at the time I probably didn't really realise who he was back in 1999, and it was more our parents that were all excited. But no, that was great.
Yeah, no, as I say, it's just part of. I think there's only going to be one or two. I can't remember. One or two left. I can't remember. But yeah, it was just a way of us celebrating 150 years, just a few figures that have been quite important to the club. So this week we are live. We are open to questions from you, the Club at 22 Loyal. We have a few from our socials to answer, but get involved in the comments and ask us anything within reason before Curry Muncher turns up and tries to ask some ridiculous questions. Keep them within reasons, one that I can actually put up and we'll have the guys talk about. Before we get into it, just a nod to our Club at 22 membership on YouTube. You can join for only 99p and come in next Friday evening as our first ever live and exclusive Old Firm preview pod with our Club at 22 supporters as a thank you for the amazing support. Also, if you are a Club at 22 supporter at the end of the season, you'll win me a chance of winning a gift card to the Rangers store. If that's not your bag, you can still want to support us. The podcast, you want to support the podcast, you can buy the podcast a coffee. The link for that is in the description for the podcast. So hello everybody, I can see all the comments coming in. It's good to see you all. We will start with a few from the social medias that I've posted, and a few people have been in touch with some questions. So we'll start on them. I will try and get to everybody's. I can't be here all night, unfortunately. Neither can the lads. They have to eat. So we will try our hardest to get through as many as we possibly can. So we'll get into it. So the first one is from our pod friends, Friday Night Counter-Attack podcast. Quite an easy one to start with, I think. Would we sign Amad Diallo on a permanent deal, Alistair?
No.
Scotia?
Did we bloody afford him? But yeah, no. But I don't think we could even begin to think about affording Diallo. No, I wouldn't sign him.
He's not.
Yeah, carry on.
I know he's not played many games, but I don't think he's got the attitude for up here. I don't think he wants to be here, if I'm being honest. I think he likes the pampered lifestyle down at Man United, so it's a no for me. We've got better players. Alex Lowry's coming through. We've seen the B team. I'd rather see him than Diallo at the moment, to be honest.
I would go along with that as well. We haven't seen much of him, let's be completely honest, but from what I've seen, nah, not for me. Scotia, are you in agreement?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got an absolute bags of talent and bundles, and they'll go on to do big things. But I think he's just one of these players that's just not going to fit into the Scottish game, like playing in pitches like Dundee's and St Johnstone's. He's just one of these players that we've seen them in the past before, haven't we? Mind when Givars came along, he didn't really.
He didn't
fit
want
into
to be
Scottish
here.
football.
No, he didn't want to be
I
here.
think he was a bit of a homebody though, Givars, wasn't he? I don't think he wanted away from. Or was it Auxerre he played for?
I always remember that goal Givars scored with the top that you always wear, the red one with the blue down the side, and it was like the chipped ball. It was on the park like 10 minutes or something like that. I don't know. I always remember that goal. But no, Diallo for me, no. I just think as well with Diallo, he is a strong tackle and then off somebody else and he's done. And Scotland is full of that. Scotland is absolutely full of that. So as soon as he gets clattered, he's not interested. So no. But they also ask, the Friday Night Counter Attack podcast also ask your favourite football memory. Now, I'm going to presume that is not only Rangers related. However, knowing Alistair and knowing Scotia, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Rangers related, but you can take it any way you want. Scotia, you can go first. Your favourite footballing memory?
Oof, put me on the spot here. There's quite a lot in the Rangers and with Scotland as well about me ad. So yeah, got one of them. But I'll go for a range just to get you all into the mood for the international break there. Rangers one favourite memory. It has to be Manchester. Just the whole the run, but then just I've said it before in this the trip down to Manchester itself and that day in particular. Fucking me and Ali were walking around at about 3 or 4 in the morning because we didn't think far ahead enough to get a bus back up the road after the game finished, and we hadn't booked anywhere. It was just it was a cracking day in Manchester.
Absolutely, Ali.
I thought Scotia was going to go a Scotland one there, so I was.
So did I.
I was looking forward to hearing about that. No,
I can give you a Scotland one if you want as well.
Sorry, you can
You're
keep
fine, mate.
no,
You're fine. Yeah.
It's a difficult one. That there's so many ones down the line. I'm probably the same as Scotia. It's probably that run to Manchester because it's. I'm sitting here saying it now, but at that time I thought this is probably the only time in my lifetime I'll see Rangers get to a European final. I know we're only a couple of games away from it now, but I never thought I would see Rangers in European final in my lifetime. And the run to it was. It was the run there. I mean, that game away at Werder Bremen where they battered us for 90 minutes was horrific to watch. But we got there. There's the Sporting Lisbon game, the 2-0 away, the one where Whittaker ran the length of the park and everyone's telling him to square it and he doesn't, puts it in the back of the net, and obviously Fiorentina. And yeah, exact same as Scotia. I'd probably say it was that. Obviously, it didn't go the way we wanted to go down in Manchester, but I think there was certain circumstances there. I think the team had burnt themselves out. Obviously, Zenit St Petersburg had 2 weeks to prepare for that game. We got
a day,
2 hours, I think, to prepare for it. Yeah. So yeah, I'm probably the same camp as Scotia.
Yeah, I've probably got a couple, and I've probably said both of them on the pod before, so I'm very aware that I'm going to say them. One is Gaza's 8 in a row, because it's probably the earliest, like, fully prominent memory that I have of Rangers, that I remember everything really about that day. I'll never forget it. And also Helicopter Sunday. I was in a pub, the greatest pub, one of the greatest pubs in the world, the Station Bar in Weems Bay. If you're ever in Weems Bay, go in and ask for Bob Carney and say hello. And we won Helicopter Sunday, and I was rough as toast that day. I mean, absolutely burst. And me and my big cousin went down to watch it more in hope than anything else. We went down to sit in the pub, and by the end of it, we were pretty full of sauce, and I just remember a puggy crowd surfing across loads of people as anything that could move did move. It was, and I think the local policewoman at the time as well, she was crowd surfing and all sorts. It was one of the days that I'll never forget, just full of good people. It really was. So yeah, I will go with that. But thank you, lads, much appreciated. I'll get one from here. I'll try and do both. Look, I'll try and be professional. Aldo has asked, do you think Ramsay will get any more goals? I bloody hope so. I bloody hope so. And saying that, Ali, he was in the right place at the right time on Sunday, and his movement was good to be there.
Yeah, I think he'll get more goals. He's a box-to-box player, midfielder, Ramsay. He's more an attacking. He's similar to Scott Arfield, I would say, in terms of players we've got at the moment. So, yeah, I would expect him to get a couple more goals for Rangers. I think I don't know whether it'll be important in the run-in. It depends. The Old Firm's a critical game for us, but I think he'll have a part to play in the final, whatever, how many games we've got left, including the Cup and Europe.
Yeah, Scotia, you went on Sunday. What was your thoughts on Ramsay on Sunday?
If I'm being completely honest, I didn't see much of the game because I was feeling absolutely terrible. So I was kind of drifting in and out of watching it. But
you're hungover.
Yeah, hungover.
A bit hungover, and yeah, a bit with the cold as well. So I didn't see much of the game. But from what I've heard, he wasn't absolutely great. Maybe a wee bit lacking match sharpness. Certainly worse than he was the previous weekend. But no, I think Ramsay will get more goals. Yeah, like Ali says, he's that wee bit more attacking than the midfielders that we've got. Probably a wee bit more mobile than Arfield is when he'll be up to full match sharpness. He'll be a wee bit more mobile than Arfield can be. So he's going to be in that kind of position where we've been lacking sometimes if Arfield's not been playing in the team. That your likes of Kamara, Lundstrom, Davis, Jack, they were all maybe a wee bit too further back. So I can see him getting a couple more goals before the end of the season.
Yeah. I hope so. I hope so. I hope that's not it. I hope that is not that. That's the kind of peak of Aaron Ramsay. I hope for a lot more to come. That is for sure. And I hope he gets some game time for. It's very weird saying that you hope he gets game time for his international team, but I hope he does because it will only benefit us. So cheers, Aldo, and I'll go back to our social media. So Kim from Facebook has asked question to all podders. Ali, which Rangers player, past or present, do you familiarise yourself with most and why? And Scotia's will be a defender. Ali, you first.
I thought Scotia would be Alan McGregor because he's a shagger, just like Alan McGregor. I don't know. Familiarise with a player, past or present. That's a difficult question, though.
I should probably have prepped this a wee bit better and sent you the questions over, but I'm not that professional.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That's very difficult to say. I'm a bit of a loose cannon, not a loose cannon at times, but
you're probably more like Alan McGregor than Scotia is. Maybe not in the Shagger nickname.
I would I'll get one. I'd probably say Barry Ferguson. In terms of he likes a moan, so I would probably put Barry Ferguson. I would probably say.
That's fair enough. I'm not going to steal Scotia. I was going to say Richard Gough because Scotia will probably say that, but no, I'd say Alan McCoist for me because the way that he is about the football club now, and when you see him, I want to be like that when I'm older about Rangers. To still have that love for Rangers and to be. I think Alan McCoist lived the ultimate dream. We mentioned that in the last podcast, so I'll go Alan McCoist. It's probably the one for me. Scotia. You're going to say something uber staunchy, aren't you? You're going to say something uber staunch about you.
You may no. In fact, no. You'll laugh when I finally get to the end one. And it's not Richard Gough. You'll be surprised to hear either.
Is it Sadiq? Is it Umar Sadiq?
It's not. No, not him either. No, I was, just while Ali was going through there, I was thinking. I was like, perhaps a bit like David Weir, because I remember me and my pal at the time when we were young, still in primary school, and Davy Weir had just been, or we were just going into high school, maybe 98 sort of period, and Davy Weir was just coming to prominence with Hearts and going down to Everton. And what we'd said is he went away to uni and done his uni first over in America and then started playing professional football. And at that period of time, that's what we wanted to do. Go to uni and then we'll play for Rangers after that. And that was our dream. So maybe him. But then I was thinking as well, and this one you'll all laugh at. Kirk Broadfoot in terms of the player, right? And I'll tell you why, because I was getting at this period of time I was getting played at right back for my local football team, but I was like a centre half generally, but I was getting played at right back, and then I would say that I was similar to Broadfoot in the respect of playing that you were never like overly comfortable when this person had the ball, but they were generally fairly solid. So in terms of a sort of football playing sense, I would go with Broadfoot, and yeah, as I say, I told you she'd laugh at that.
I don't know if I can have you back on this podcast, mate, after saying that, to be honest. This might be your swan song, mate, so I would go out on a high if you can. Thank you very much, Kim. That's a really difficult question, though. It really is. I should have sent it over to these lads. I'm sorry I didn't. Right, I'll go back to where we were. See, this is dead professional. CGM's asked, would you rather Barry Mackay than Diallo, Sakala or Scott Wright in the wide right winger spot? Sakala for me all day. I would never take Barry Mackay back, in my opinion. Somebody else has asked further down as well. Do you think Scott Wright's got a future? I don't think Scott Wright's got a future at Rangers. I think he'll be moved on. So I will say Sakala for me. If we were going to go for like winger with what we have now, it would be Sakala. Scotia?
Right, let's just think about Barry Mackay as a football player talent. He's pretty good, but even when he was with us, he's got the problem with the winger that he was a bit inconsistent. You know, he was in and out of games, and then he would go maybe 6 or 7 games without actually doing anything on the pitch. I've not watched an awful lot of him at Hearts, but I know he's been, from what I've read here and there, he's been playing quite well. But I'm similar to yourself, probably go with Sakala. Sakala's got that kind of unpredictability that your likes in Novo used to have. That kind of he doesn't know what he's going to do. Our team doesn't know what he's going to do, and the other players don't know what he's going to do. So Sakala gives you that wee bit of kind of chaos that you need.
Yes, I would agree. Ali, who would it be for you?
Probably Sakala, to be honest. I mean, Barry Mackay's played for us previously. I'd say Barry Mackay falls into the same camp as Scott Wright. I'd say he's very similar to Scott Wright. He's doing really well at Hearts. He is doing well at Hearts. A couple of guys that I deal with work, they're Hearts fans, and they say he's doing really well with Hearts. But you find with these players like that, that's their level, and they look really good in these teams. And when they come to a big team, they really don't make it. And I think Barry Mackay's probably found his level at Hearts. And Scott Wright is, as much as I liked Scott Wright at the beginning, I still think he's an impact player. Yeah, I don't think he'll make it at Rangers. His level is probably like a Hearts or a Hibs or something as well, to be honest. Yeah, and I really did like Scott Wright. As I say, I was excited by the signing of him. I'd seen him in spells for Aberdeen, and I was like, I was genuinely a bit of a fanboy of him, but it's just not happened for him at Rangers, and I don't know if it's just too big for him. I don't know if it's maybe not his level, and it's not a nice thing to say about him. I don't wish any harm on him at all, and I've said it before. Everybody knows if we sign a player from Aberdeen, I want him to do well because my stepdad's an Aberdeen fan, so it makes everything better when that happens. Hence my over-exaggerated love of Ryan Jack, even though I do love Ryan Jack, but it's all, a lot of it stems from that. But yeah, I just don't know about Scott Wright. I think it's maybe time for him to be moved on, possibly. So yeah, that'll do us. I can't remember who asked that question. CGMs. Why did I do this? I'm useless at this. There's far too many things going on. Right, I'll go back to our socials. David Logan, also on Facebook, asked, do you think we need to find a way to get Roof into the team more often? He's been effective anytime he's come on recently, and he's probably the best finisher in the squad. Scotia, what do you think?
Yeah, well, I've been screaming out for Roof to start ahead of Morelos for the last 2 games against Dundee, and he's right there, David, about the impact he's had, because the two goals we scored on Sunday there were, Roof was involved in both of them. In fact, he was straight on the pitch and sort of had that header that then Ramsay knocked away once it was saved by their goalkeeper. I seen someone else in the comments in the streams here put up as well, who plays as right wing in the Old Firm. I don't know if it's time that you start Morelos and Roof in the same team for a game like that, potentially. I know we were talking there about Sakala, but the way that we set up, obviously Morelos is going to be playing all the time up front now, you would imagine. I thought the Dundee games were the chance to give Roof some sort of minutes for playing up front and get him ready should they need their eyes. But I wouldn't be surprised if you maybe see a Roof and Morelos starting the Old Firm game once we get back from the international break, because I don't think Roof's away with Jamaica. I know obviously Alfie's away with Colombia, but I'm fairly certain that Roof's staying at home, so it wouldn't surprise me that if he comes in for that game.
Yeah, I agree. I think Roof has looked very sharp, and I thought he looked particularly sharp on Sunday. Ali, if we were to bring Roof into the team, I think personally it would have to go to a conventional two up top. With Roof and Morelos, I think it would need to be a kind of striker partnership. It kind of, who do you take out? Where are you going to play Ryan Kent, for example? Because does Bassey drop into the back three, or do you know what I mean? So something's going to have to be compromised to get both of them in the team. But it's a good shout. Roof has looked sharp.
Yeah, I just seen Uncle Juicy TV there. That's a good name, that actually. It said Roof's in Jamaica. I think he is, because I seen him in his socials last night. He was at an airport. He was moaning about EasyJet or something. So I'd imagine he is away. So no, I think he's looked good, Roof. I mean, he has played, like Scotia says, kind of out in that right-hand side before for us when Morelos is through the middle. So potentially, but you're taking him out, and a Joe Aribo might be there. So is he better? I don't know. I think he'll get game time in the run-in though, Roof, because there's that many games coming up. We'll need to use him, but will he play the Old Firm? There is a possibility, but I've got a feeling he'll stick to the players that he's like your Joe Aribo's on that right hand side, or a Sakala maybe over Roof possibly, which is yeah, I kind of agree with Scotia a wee bit as well in terms of Roof. Probably maybe should have played against Dundee, because Morelos was looking a wee bit, that last game there, he looked like he was carrying an injury. I know he get taken off in the Red Star Belgrade game, so I don't know whether he's carrying a wee bit knock, but he's obviously over in Colombia at the moment, so we'll just need to wait and see what happens.
Oh, was that me that cut out, or did you cut out? Because I heard nothing there. I don't know if that was me or you.
I heard.
Was it me? I nearly completely lost you there. I was like, I sat there and did the whole freeze thing where I stared at the screen and going, what's happened here? Apologies, Ali. I didn't hear the end of that, but I'm sure everybody else did. Thank you very much, David, for your question. Now, I'm going to address the elephant in the room just now, because there's a few people asked it, and it's also been asked on our socials, so I'm going to tie it into one here. I don't want this podcast to be too negative. This is we come on here to have a bit of a laugh and a joke. Can I keep it upbeat, because you can ask us questions and stuff, but I will address the carry on between Club at 1872 and the club today. And by me saying carry on, you're probably getting where I'm going to go with this. It was asked by Scotch Welder. He said, fantastic pod, guys, and the four of you have great passion and chemistry. Thank you very much. Where do you stand with this despicable infighting between the board and Club 1872? Also, somebody else asked it as well. Connor asked it. How do you guys feel recently about the club statement? Does any of you want to go first before I go, or do you want me to go first on this? If I'm going to be brutally honest, it's just a shambles. It really is. It's bordering on embarrassing by both parties on this. Now, I have my opinions on certain things. Some of the things that Club 1872 maybe have said could maybe possibly ring true. I think there's a lot of work needing done around things, the way the club handle matters. However, this is the wrong time to do it, and it's the wrong way to do it. There is no need for this to be public. In my personal opinion, again, I know nothing. We've got no connection with the club. This is my personal opinion. Dave King has now become... Club 1872 has now become the puppet for Dave King, and everything that Dave King wants to say kind of goes through them, and it's trying to to provoke something. It's obviously clearly personal between them. I don't understand why it had to be made public. I think the club statement responding, they shouldn't have. I think the club statement's even bordering on worse than what Club 1872's was. But this shouldn't have been made public. We should not be distracted with this. The fans don't deserve this at this stage of the season. Everything about it is wrong and embarrassing, in my opinion. And yeah, both of them should have serious words with themselves about keeping quiet for a wee while, because I don't think the support are going to put up this. And I did hear something on David Edgar's update today that I'll agree with. The only thing we all want to hear from the club right now is that Australia is cancelled. Until then, don't release anything. That's my opinion on it. Ali?
To be fair, I didn't get to read Club 1872's statement today, but I can pretty sure I know what was in it, to be honest. I did see the club statement come out, because as soon as I seen the statement flash up, I actually thought, I was working today, they were coming out to possibly say to us they'd cancelled that Australia friendly. That's what I'd thought. And then I read it, but it's dead petty, man. This is, it doesn't look good, especially for a club of Glasgow Rangers. It's the type of stuff you would see on the other side of the city. It's quite embarrassing, and they'll be looking at that going, look at them over there. We should be concentrating on the park at the moment, because we're coming at a critical stage of the season in terms of what April's bringing up, and it's not needed at the moment. There's quite a few things behind the scenes at the moment not needed. The protests at the weekend, obviously, we understand what they were for, but there's a few things in the background which we don't really need at the moment. But we need to do it in-house. I don't like this airing your dirty laundry out in public, which is what's happening at the moment, and it's not good for the club, because we need to be together at the moment, because we've got a critical 6 weeks coming up in terms of 3 fronts we're fighting on.
Yeah. 100%. As I say, I don't do this podcast to try to influence people in any way, shape, or form. I was very close when the whole Club 1872 thing got announced. I was very close to joining that. Right now, I'm very glad I didn't, because I want nothing to do with it. But I would never try and influence people. That's my personal decision. Scotia, your thoughts on it before we move on and leave that there for tonight?
Yeah, I mean, tend to agree with what you guys have already said, so I would be repeating a lot of it. For me, it's the timing of it. I mean, we've come up to an international break before we've got that Old Firm game, right? So we've got like 2 weeks of no actual Rangers games or anything happening, and then on the morning, Club 1872 come out with that statement, and it's like, usually you leave the papers to dig something up and start making it about this or that and whatnot, and let them do it. But we've just kind of set the on fire ourselves with Club 1872 doing that. Again, like you, I am not a member of Club 1872. Not saying that I wouldn't not be a member, but so I can't really speak for them. But their statement came out, it was a fairly lengthy one, and I mean, some of the concerns they've got, I agree with some of them. But like you said, Carney, there does seem to be a very personal element to this, that there's a couple of people not liking each other in it. Well, that's the way it comes across to me. And then the statement from the club today, when I read it, I was like, oof, that was a bit nippy. It was because it was very short, and like, there you go. And like, what's that all about? And then looked into it a wee bit more. So it was not the best timing to do it. I don't think we don't need it. We all need to sort of be behind the team, because what this kind of does is it then it'll set people up against Club 1872 if they've seen that statement and don't agree with it, and then so you'll get this kind of divide. And we've been lucky for the last period of time that the Rangers support have all been pretty much unified as one. There's not been too many splits. I mean, you would have to go back to the latter stages of David Murray's period in charge, where there was kind of like a clear divide among sort of fan groups and things like that. It's got that feel that it's going to kind of split a sort of chasm down the support, which we don't need, because like you say, we should all be supporting the team, and it's all about making this season as successful as we possibly can. Yeah,
it's just everything about it is just wrong. Really, I don't like it. I don't like it from either side. It's just honestly, it's next. It'll be a statement of you're an idiot. No, you're an idiot. No, you're the idiot. No, it's definitely you. It's pathetic. It really is. I'm going to leave it there. So I'm sorry if anybody wants any more of that. I won't be having any more of that. We'll leave that there and we'll get back to more light-hearted things. And we'll start by talking about shaving your balls. It's time for a word from our sponsor. It's time to join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped, who are leaders in below-the-waist grooming, and you can provide you with the right tools for the job to keep your balls thanking you. With our exclusive offer, go to manscaped.com, use the code CLUBAT22 for 20% off and free shipping. Manscaped are the global leaders in men's below-the-waist grooming and have forever changed the grooming game with their Performance Package 4.0. The number one product in the package is the Lawnmower 4.0. It has skin-safe technology and has an LED light in case you want to live life on the edge and shave your delicates in the dark. To complete the trimming of said delicates, finish it off with the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, the Crop Reviver Ball Toner, which is Scotia's favourite. These formulations will have your balls smelling like a king. It's time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life. What will your balls do, Scotia?
They will thank you.
They will thank you. So go to manscaped.com, use the code CLUBAT22, you'll get 20% off and free shipping, and you're supporting this podcast. So thank you to Manscaped again for their support, and their products genuinely are superb. Thank you. Right, let's move on. Where was I? What was I doing? I think I'll go back to the social media.
Going to happier things.
Going to happier things, very much. I hope the next question's a happier one, I really do. This one is from Connor Rowan as well via YouTube. He asked, how confident do you guys feel about the 3rd of April Old Firm? Oh my goodness, what a question to start with. I am pretty confident myself. I see a 3-1 win, Morelos and Kent with a goal each at least. Ali?
I wish I had his confidence. I'll tell you what, when I'm walking up to Ibrox on that day, my heart will be beating like hell. It's, don't know how many times we've said it's a horrible game to watch, horrible game to be there at. It's I don't know, if I'm being honest. I'll need to see who comes back. Hopefully they all come back fit and healthy from international duty. Have a look. If you're being honest about it, and I said this previously, our league form hasn't been convincing. We have been scraping wins. Scraped at the weekend. Aberdeen, we scraped. St Johnstone, we scraped. You can go through them all. I'm trying to think back to somebody we actually convincingly beat in the league. But, yeah, Hearts. And that was away back in, was that, January or something? So, and you have to look across the other side of the city. They're putting teams away at the moment, convincingly. They are. And they'll fancy themselves, and they will come to Ibrox and attack us, and obviously they'll try and win the league at Ibrox on that day. So I'm confident if Rangers show up, Rangers should win. But I'm not, as we all know, are we confident Rangers will show up? Because we don't know what Rangers are going to show up. So yeah, of course we can beat them, but I'll know nearer the time when I know what players are available and what we're going in with. But I did see they've got a couple of players not going in international duty. Tom Rogic, Maida, I think his name is. So I know what they're up to. But of course we can beat them. But it's what Rangers team turn up. That's a question.
100%, mate. I've said before as well. Old Firm at Ibrox usually is you picking me up very early on, mate. We both get in the car absolutely miserable and don't really want to talk about the football because of the emotions that your body's going through. Am I confident? I think Rangers can do it. Yes, of course I do. I am never confident. No, I am one of those people that I never really get confidence. The last Old Firm game I was confident about was the last one of last season. I was like 100% we'll win this. I didn't think there would be any doubt in it. And yeah, but I don't really get confident. And I've said it before, I do not enjoy them. I mean, sitting in Ibrox is horrific, man. Having to put your body through that. You leave the place at you kick off at 12, you're out the place for 1:45, 2 o'clock, and you're absolutely knackered, like absolutely done in. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Who doesn't enjoy looking forward to an Old Firm? But I wish I had your confidence. But do I believe we can do it? Same as Ali. Yes, of course I believe we can do it. And if we're going to be honest, we have to win it. It's as simple as that. There's not really any manoeuvre for anything else. We have to win this game. Scotia, you very confident, mate?
I think right now is the most confident I'm going to get because it's. I always say it goes through a range of emotions in the weeks leading up to an Old Firm, and in particular this one because it's an international week and Scotland aren't really playing a meaningful game in terms of the World Cup qualifiers or anything. This is kind of an international week where I'm probably not going to be as focused in Scotland as I normally am. So I'll think about it more, and my confidence levels will probably stay. This will be the highest they get, but it'll drop down really low, and they'll fluctuate in the week leading up to it. Right now, I'm feeling fairly comfortable about it. It's at Ibrox. I feel good. I think the team's good enough. I mean, Ali, you saying there, I've not even looked at the players for them that have went away with their international teams, but it's going in international duties it's a double-edged sword. Obviously, they could pick up a knock and then rule them out, but they could also go and perform really well for their national teams and come back absolutely buzzing, because I think for quite a lot of them, I've got a wee list here actually. Have you got Ramsay, Nigeria? So Ramsay for the Wales squad, the Nigerian lads, Swedish Helander, Morelos and Sands.
I didn't think Ramsay played for Nigeria, mate.
just clearing that one up for you.
Yes, yeah.
But they're all going to be involved in games that actually matter for their countries in terms of qualifying for the World Cup in December. So they could, if they put in good performances, they can come back flying. It'd be really good for us. So right now I'm feeling okay about it. But like I say, you ask me this question come Friday evening, I'll probably go, I'm absolutely terrified of it. We're going to get beat.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you very much for that, Connor. I'll move to one that I've got to say. Where is it? There it is. Scotland, Berlin. Scotia, come back to you. After Rangers, who do you all support?
Well, I really only support Rangers in Scotland. That's who I support. But I suppose teams that I don't mind doing too well, I've got a bit of fondness for Albion Rovers because my dad supports them, and it's kind of from Coatbridge where I originally lived. Other than that, I love Milan. Just ever since the 90s, watching them in Channel 4 and Go Lazio and stuff was on, and absolutely love Milan. So that would probably be it. I've got the Union Berlin flag up above me as well for that time that we went on the stag do, so I don't really support them, but I like to see like Milan and Union Berlin do pretty well.
Yeah, Ali, we'll probably say the same thing, I'd imagine. The Rangers B team?
Yeah. I'm sorry, Scott and Berlin, but you get asked this question a lot. Who's your English team and who's that? Sorry, what do you mean who's my English team? It's Rangers and that is it. There is no other team. I have been and watched other teams and stag do's. I've been to Newcastle moment, but I've been to Newcastle, watched them. We went to the Union Berlin. It was good in that, but it's not your team. It's not the same. And no, I don't have any other team. I wish I could come out like Scotia and say I've got this team or that, or Scotland, but no, it's Rangers and Rangers only, and that is it. That is all I care about.
Yeah, I hate being like Ali, but I'm 100% the same. I really don't have another team. My dad's got a good fondness for Aston Villa, down to my uncle, my dad's brother-in-law. He's a massive Villa fan, and a good Blue Nose as well, I have to say. But it's never really grabbed a hold of me the way Rangers has, and I've got very little interest in national football. So I genuinely couldn't. I'm sorry, Scott Berlin as well. I've got to be like Ali here. I can't pick another team because there isn't one. There is only one team, genuinely, for me. I don't really have an English team. It doesn't really bother me. I had Man U tops when I was younger. I loved watching Liverpool when I was younger, so that shows you how much it's completely different. Like it doesn't do anything for. I think I had a Real Madrid top. I quite like Real Madrid. If I had to pick between Barca and Real Madrid, I probably would pick Real Madrid, to be honest. But I mean,
it's that thing. You don't really support them as such. You just like watching them and don't mind them doing too badly. It is,
they usually have quite nice
in Scotland, but
they usually have quite nice strips and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, usually something like that. But no, I'm sorry, Scott. It's Rangers and Rangers only for me. So cheers for that. Marfeda asked a question from Facebook. Who was your worst Rangers player who continually got a game and you had no idea why? I've got one very, very recently, and it's Brandon Barker. I'm sure you all are very aware of that. Marf said his was Hamid Namuchi. He did absolutely nothing, and Big Eck kept playing him in Europe. So I can't remember who. Scotia, who was your worst ever Ranger?
Put me in the spot
it's
again
hard,
here.
I've got, yeah, hard.
Who was the boy that I forget his name, that we swapped for Van Vossen? Ali, you'll know this.
I don't know.
I had him for half a season. No. Oleg Selenko, aye. It would have been Alex Solenko. We had him for half a season, and then Van Vossen came in for him. We switched him out in the Christmas period. I think him. Yeah, him. But then you could go. I mean, do we even want to touch on the banter years with some of the players that were in that team?
Yeah,
Cabrari.
I know. Why leave Cabrari alone? He's a $5 million centre back, Scotia.
So let's steer clear of the banter years. Yeah, probably Solenko, maybe.
Solenko. He scored though, didn't he? I'm sure he scored. I remember like Solenko.
I don't know if it was Solenko. There's someone saying Daniel Prodan there. Yes, because Daniel Prodan didn't play a game, did he?
No, I don't think he did. No. Ali, who is it for you?
Oh God. Namucci's a good shout, to be fair. Namucci was a bit of a utility player. He was all right, Namucci, but that's all he was. He was all right. But Big Eck had a thing for him, I think, because he always played him, especially in Europe. He was always there. There's so many I could fling out. Andy Fay, there's one for you. Christ, he was rotten. James Beattie.
Oh, he's a
one.
disaster. Oh.
Came up, English internationalist, scored so many goals for Southampton. Came up to us, didn't even score a goal. It was like Francis Jeffers that came up, Fox in the box. Yeah. He was no Fox in the box, I'll tell you that. But no, there's tons of them. But Nuno Capuccio, he was another one. But no,
I've got one again.
James Beattie.
Go, Scosh.
I've got one again because this is refreshing my memory. I'm sure we had a question like this in one of the other Q&As earlier in the year or last year, and it's Andy Webster. Andy Webster for me was an absolutely woeful signing because he was doing well for Hearts, came to us and just couldn't make that step up. And I'd said at the time I had high hopes for Andy Webster being a decent centre half for us, and that'll be mine. Forget Solenko, Webster for me.
After the proper banter years finished, it is Brandon Barker for me, like 100%. I still to this day can't understand why he ever played for Rangers. No disrespect to the guy, but he's just not good enough. He was nowhere near good enough. But back in the day, there is so many. See, when you think about it, you're like, oh God. Like, as somebody said, Joey Barton, Ian Black. Why were they ever playing for? Obviously, due to the circumstances, yes, but there is so many absolute dung man that we bought. But Capuccio's a shout as well, definitely. Brilliant. Thank you for that. We could probably do a whole podcast on that, by the way, to be honest. Just failed Rangers players, but 100% could do that. Right, I'll go back to some live questions. Probably quite a quick one. This one, Ross McKinley, do you think EPL teams are still looking at Aribo, even though he's had a slump since coming back from the AFCON? My opinion is yes, his quality is still there. His form will dip and peak as every player does. I would be shocked if there's still not people looking at him. Ali?
Yeah, the team's looking at Aribo, definitely. Too much quality, Aribo. He's not been, to be fair, he was player of the season before he went to AFCON, and he's come back, he's playing his way out of player of the season at the moment, Aribo. So I know you are reading, was that Senderos you are reading there? So
Senderos, yeah.
I'm coming away from my Aribo thing, but there was actually a group of guys that went to the Belgrade game on Thursday, and they went via wherever he plays for and met him, Big Senderos, and he let them in the stadium and stuff, and I had a wee look about. It was on Twitter. I looked quite good, but I'm sorry, I got sidetracked there. But no, right. Joe Aribo. 100%. There'll be teams looking at him. Where he would get a top team in England at the moment, I don't think so. I think he would need to go into the Premiership to a Southampton or something, and then maybe go to the next level if he does well there. He's probably needs to go at a team like that as a stepping stone in terms of to go at a big team. But I hope he doesn't leave Joe Aribo because he's my main man, Joe Aribo.
Yeah, Scotia.
Oh, definitely English teams will be looking at him because he's just about coming to that he's got 13, 14 months left of his contract. So that's the kind of prime time when other clubs will start sniffing around and start, getting agents talking in the background and things like that, even though you're not meant to. That's when you get stuff like that going on. So yeah, English teams will be looking at Aribo because, yeah, I agree he's not been great since he's come back from AFCON, but earlier in the season, it was fantastic, and he was putting in performances in Europe as well. I mean, I think an awful lot of the clubs in the English Premiership will take players from ourselves and Celtic, for that matter, based on their performances in Europe, rather than what they're doing in the league too much, because they kind of deride our league, probably unfairly at points, I would say. Too much. They do it a wee bit too much, but no, teams will be looking at them.
Yes, definitely. Right, well, Marth had one more. This is a tough one, man. Would you take them winning the treble if we win the Europa League? Oh, God. Yes, I would. See, if we hadn't have won 55, I would be saying no. But what that would do for us as a team to win the Europa League, we would still get into the Champions League. It sounds very unstaunch, but yes, I would. Scotia? I
hate these questions. One
so,
or the other kind of thing. It's for Rangers, we should be going into all these competitions going to win. But right, hypothetically speaking, if you can guarantee me Rangers win the Europa League, then yes, I would let Celtic have a treble. If you could guarantee me that we would win the Europa League, but in reality we know that's not how it works. So I want Rangers to win. I want Rangers to get a treble this season with the Europa League, the league and the cup. So yeah, we'll go for that one instead. We'll take the treble, and that'll include the Europa League.
It is all hypothetical, of course, Ali. If that was to happen like that, we were to win the Europa League and they win a treble, that would their treble wouldn't even be a speckle of glitter, really. It would take the shine completely off it for them.
Yeah, well, I mean, the league's there to be won every season. We can go next season, win it if we don't win it this season. A European Cup final, like I said, I didn't think I would see another one in my lifetime. So
Carney's away.
No, he's still on.
I am still here. My camera's done that thing. Ali, keep talking. I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, you've probably got to say win the Europa League final. I think Barry Ferguson was asked this question, and he said he would rather win the league. But these European finals don't come along. So if it did come along, that scenario, I would pick that, because, like you say, Carney, it would guarantee Champions League football next year. It would guarantee us even more money this season in terms of the fixtures we'll be playing too. So yeah, you would take it, but yeah, I mean, there is as much as we hate to think about it, there is a possibility they might win that treble this year, because I actually forgot they'd won the League Cup, so they'll be thinking they've got a right good chance, and they do have a good chance of winning it. But no, again, I don't like the questions, but if I did have to pick, I'd pick the European final.
Yeah, I know. If only things were that easy in life.
Yeah, if it was that easy.
Apologies for me getting removed. I wish I understood why it happens from time to time. I really don't. We're a professional podcast. These things happen. Andrew Hillis on YouTube asked, "Hi lads, great effort from you all each week. A refreshing, balanced and upbeat change from our haters across various national and local media outlets. Thank you very much. Couple of questions. Is it too early to book flights and accommodation to Seville? And is it possible that we can play Balogun and Jack in every remaining game this season, as the performance and intensity tail off without them?" I would love to be able to play Ryan Jack for every game this season, because I think he's crucial to the team. I think he brings out the best in other players. However, I don't think it will be possible with the amount of games that we're about to play in April. I think they're going to need to pick and choose. I think Hollander and Balogun will be constantly rotated, as well, as they're both really struggling for fitness and match fitness. So again, that's another perfect world, and it's not too late to book flights. Scotia's got space in a bed set somewhere. Scotia.
It's not a bed set. Well, it probably will be.
Yeah. Scotia, if we could, I would probably pay Balogun and Jack for every game if we could.
Yeah, to be honest, I would probably, if Helander was up to full match fitness, I would prefer Helander playing more regularly than Balogun in the centre pairing. But obviously, Helander's not in the European squad, so Balogun's going to be playing in the European games. So, like you, I think there'll be rotation between Balogun and Helander for League in Europe, like that. But it would be nice to have, like, for the run-in, having a settled pair of centre halves, because I think it's vital that your two centre halves and your goalie remain unchanged for sort of these big pressure games. And then, yeah, as well, I think Jack just does something different to our team, makes players around about him play better, gives the team that bit of confidence. So yes, I would love to see Jack playing every game for Rangers here on in. Just hope he stays fit.
It's almost an obvious question, isn't it, Ali? Of course we would have Jack playing.
Yeah. And at the moment, I would have Balogun playing too until Hollander's, because Hollander I thought was miles off at the weekend again. He has been out for ages, but it's no, we need to rotate those two, unfortunately, because they're two players that I don't think can guarantee us to play every game to the end of the season. Balogun's 33, 34 now. Ryan Jack's injury prone. So, and Balogun's injury prone to that extent too. He's been out of the Rangers team since he's been at Rangers. So he's been injured a few times. So, yeah, I think we'll need to rotate, especially with the games we've got coming up. It's a hectic schedule, and we will need to rotate those positions, unfortunately, because Ryan Jack, I think, is instrumental for Rangers going forward. I really do. I think he makes players round about and tick. I think he was missing at the weekend, big style. But I think Gio's thinking behind it was, we've got enough to get through Dundee, which we should have, and we did. And he's keeping him in, and he's keeping him in cotton wool for the Celtic game, unless Scotia's bloody Scotland injure him. So I'm glad he doesn't play for Scotland. Sorry, Scotia.
Yeah, he better not play for Scotland.
Well, he's cleaning the boots or something, that'll do him.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. You can warm up the bench if you like, so I hope we don't see too much of Ryan Jack for Scotland. Magic, as I said...
Here's a quick one, Carney. On the Balogun situation, he comes out at the end of his contract, so would you extend him for another year when it runs out this year?
Wages of 34?
Nice, 34.
34.
Yes, probably another year. I'd give him a year. Wouldn't give him any more. But I do. No, Suter's coming in. Oh, God, I don't know.
Goldson's going.
Goldson's going. Yes, I would keep Balogun. Yes. Ali.
Sorry, that was supposed to be a quick one.
Yeah, I'd give him a year's contract, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Right, I'm cautious of time, so I'm going to rattle through as many as I can. Sorry about this. There's loads. I might not get through them all, but I will try. Ian Ross, do you think that Lowry should get more game time? Again, this is a difficult one because of the time of the season that we are at. We were at the B team game, and he just impresses. Every time I see Lowry play, he just impresses me. I get more and more excited every time I see him. There's definitely real talent in that boy. There is no doubt about it. Do I think he'll get more game time this season? I don't think so, because of the April we're about to hit. I can't see it happening. Potentially coming on as a sub if games are dead and buried. But what I would say is I would promote him to the first team for next year. I think he has to be a squad player for next year. Ali?
Yeah, we've got too many critical games coming up. And he's a shining light in that B team, and we've seen him, like you say, at the weekend, Carney. He's miles ahead of players in that park. He was so far ahead of some of the players. Very intelligent for a boy of his age as well. He looks brilliant. But no, I'll similar to you. I might come on if we're canting a game with 10-15 minutes to go at Ibrox possibly, or whatever happens in the league. If we end up winning the league with a couple of games left, or the dreaded, if they end up winning it and we've got a couple of games left over and it's a bit of a dead rubber, yeah, I can see him playing games like that from the start. So potentially, yeah, it just depends how the season kind of pans out.
Yeah, Scotia, for you?
Yeah, no, I'm the same. I thought Sunday would have been an ample opportunity for him to be on the bench and come on if the game was going well. But obviously he was playing in that B team game on the Saturday. We're kind of at that stage, yeah, completely like Pearson. That as long as if we're 4-0 up, because I was just looking at actually to who could be in the top six, and it's still up for anyone's grabs. You know, beneath below Hearts, it's anyone's to kind of get in that top six along with the top three sides.
Yeah, I would definitely, as I say, definitely like to see him in the first team next year. I think he thoroughly deserves that. Right, where was I? Aldo's asked, are we going to Legends game? Yes, we are. Could potentially be quite special for us. Keep your eye out for it. No matter what, there will be a video of some form on Saturday from us at the Legends game. But it could be a rather good one. I'll just leave it at that. And I'll move on to Ross McLean on YouTube. How you doing, Ross? Tough one, but what are your predictions for what we'll achieve by the end of the season? League, Europe, Cup, etc. Again, I hate these questions, man. Because he'll come back and slap me in the face. He's not know anything about this podcast. Anything time I say something, it comes back and smashes me. Honestly, if I'm being realistic about it, and I'll lose staunch points here, man, I know I'm gonna. I don't think we'll make the final of the Europa League. I think we could potentially and probably should make the semis. I expect Atalanta to put out Leipzig, and they're a very good team, a very, very good team. And you do have the small matter of Barcelona in this competition. So you get the final, anything can happen. I understand that, but that I think semi-finals is probably a limit. And I expect a double. I really do. I expect the Scottish Cup and the league, and I don't know why I've just said that, because now that's just the worst thing you can say, to be honest. But it's not over yet, and it's not over yet. I don't want to say too much. It's not over yet. There is still time. So I expect the league and the cup. Ali?
Same with Europe, to be honest. If I'm being very honest with myself, I didn't expect us to get as far as we did, because we didn't start well in Europe in the group stages. Remember, I think we lost our first 2 games or something in the group stages. So I didn't expect us to get where we are at the moment. Yeah, I think we could get to the semi-finals and give it a good right shot there. To me, Europe's a free hit at the moment, and I think that's why you see Rangers playing well in Europe, because it is a free hit. I don't think they've got pressure when they play these games, although they are big games, but it's not the same as the league pressure. So yeah, I can't see us making the final, unfortunately. The Scottish Cup, Carney, you don't like my laws of averages, but this one,
You're due one.
They need to do something at Hampden. They need to do something. They owe Celtic one at Hampden. So yeah, I can actually see Celtic win. Rangers winning the Scottish Cup. And then in terms of the league, I don't know, because Rangers do not convince me in the league, and I've been saying it for since we've come back for the break. Give me an argument to say Rangers can win all the games in the league, because I don't think they can, and I still don't think they can. I think the game next a week on Sunday is critical. If Rangers drop points in that game, i.e. if they draw, Celtic will win the league. If Rangers win that game, I can see us kicking on and winning that league. It's all down to that game for me. But if anything less than a win for Rangers, and I'm sorry to say it, but they will win that league title.
So positive, isn't it, Scotia?
I said it earlier, we're winning the treble this season, so keep it at that. No, be sensible. I'm sensible. I'm similar to you in terms of the Europa League. I think we'll get to the semis. I'd prefer it to be Atalanta we get, because I can't stand teams like Red Bull Leipzig, bought over by big multinational companies and pumped up the league with loads and loads of money. So I got a wee dig in there. Curry Muncher always likes me to get a wee dig into some other team. So there's the Leipzig fans loving me. Yeah, I think I feel confident about the league, if I'm being honest with myself right now. But like, similar to the old firm question, that'll fluctuate as the weeks and months go by.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Look, as I say, there's a long way to go yet, and I also quite like when some try to write us off. When some tries to write us off, that's when the greatest things can happen. So you never know. This could be a season to remember. It could also be a season to forget, but we're still there. We're still there. We've got 3 competitions to go for here. So you've got to remain as positive as you can. And I do genuinely still think we can win this league. I've got no doubts about it in my mind. We do have to win the next game. We have to win the Old Firm game, but it is well within our capabilities to do so. So, yeah. Right, we'll finish with Tommy Letanka. Hi, Tommy. What's your goal of the season? Rangers' goal of the season so far? I can be the host here. Ali, what's yours? And it gives me time to think about it.
Cheers for that. God's sake, Tommy. Honestly, you could text me earlier on, Tommy, to say you were asking that question. Goal of the season. I'm trying to think back and rattle my head for goals we've scored.
Okay. Gosh, not that difficult, mate. Scotia, you love one. Scotia, you go.
Yeah, well, I'm doing this because I don't even need to think about it, right? And when I look back and reflect on it, it's not going to be, but I'm going for Connor Goldson's goal at the weekend there as my goal of the season, because that was vitally important. So for what it meant, to keep that gap at 3 points at the moment, yeah, take that. I know that's a kind of easy out, but I'm taking that because I'm like Ali scratching my head to try and think of other ones.
I'll go for James Tavernier's second goal in the Dortmund game, because I don't think I've ever heard Ibrox like that before in my life. It was incredible. So everything that went around that goal, I'll go for James Tavernier's second against Dortmund at Ibrox. It was tremendous. Here we go. There we go. Hallelujah. I was running out of things to say.
I was rattling my brain for Joe Aribo goals, because Joe Aribo scored some fantastic goals for us earlier on the season, but I honestly can't remember them, to be honest. So I'm going to go with one that was more recent. And it was one that I actually sat and watched the game with Tommy, so you'll remember this one. It was John Lundstrom's third goal against Dortmund away. I thought the build-up to that was outstanding, and the finish was sublime, so I'll go with that.
That was an absolutely superb goal. Yes, so that'll do us. I think I've got through pretty much everything. If I've missed you, I'm really, really sorry. I really have.
Here's a quick one. Another one, quick one, Carney. Katic.
Go.
I've seen a few people put up there about Katic. What about him? Because he's obviously still out on loan.
I don't even know how his team are getting on.
I don't know.
He'll be moved on in the summer, Scotia. I'm sorry to tell you that, but he'll be moved on.
Yeah.
It's him and Netton will be moved on together. There you go.
Hitton's disappeared down a hole. I think the last game he played was we played Celtic in the Glasgow Cup. I think he was playing in that game.
That just shows where his career is with Rangers if he's playing at that. So there you go.
See, James also asked a question: who's Tommy and why isn't he on the pod? You never know. Stranger things have happened. CGM.
He's got a rubbish laptop. That's what he's got.
His laptop's from the 1930s. So yeah, you never know. Yeah, that'll do us. Amazing. Honestly, thank you to everybody for getting involved. We just thought we'd do something a wee bit different. We're into a national break, and we genuinely love doing this. You getting interaction with you and getting to answer questions. It's brilliant. It's what we live for. So, Ali, thank you very much for your time, mate, and enjoy being on the Tyne. Is that what you say?
Aye. What was that song Gaza sang? Was it Wine in the Tyne? Is all mine? All mine?
Mine, that's right. Yeah.
I'm not going to sing it all for everyone, but that's what he sang. But Gaza's actually up for the Legends game, so there you go. But no, I brought all my stuff down, so that's dedication for you there, Carney. The Wi-Fi held up as well, so I'm away down to the restaurant at this hotel for something to eat, so I'm looking forward to that.
Good, mate, good. Cheers, Scotia, my man.
Yeah, cheers. I really enjoyed that this evening.
Fog on the Tyne, apparently. CGM saying fog on the Tyne is all mine, isn't it? That's what they say. Yeah, fog on the Tyne is. Yeah,
everyone's going to go listen to that. Everyone's going to go listen to that on YouTube.
Everybody's the views for that are just going to shut up. That's brilliant. As I say, we will be back with some form of video on Saturday after the Legends game. Also, next week's Club Deck Corner might be on Wednesday, but trust me, it is going to be worth the wait. It's going to be a podcast first for us. We are genuinely buzzing to do it. It should all be happening. Nothing is getting in the way so far. So please tune in next Wednesday. It'll be something to remember. It's a first for us, and we are genuinely buzzing to do it, so really looking forward to it. Again, thank you to everybody for being involved in the comments tonight. Really good, enjoyable. I say we will be back. We're going to take a couple of days off. It's not often we do so. We're going to take a couple of days off, and we will be back on Saturday with some form of video after the Legends game. So as always, please like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, all the usual stuff. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll speak to you on Saturday. Thank you for tuning in. We are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, and we'll speak to you all next time. Cheers, everybody.